The 2016 presidential election was as contentious as it was unpredictable. The scandals that surfaced during the campaign raised additional questions about ethical leadership. The FBI investigated Hillary Clinton for misuse of her private email server for state emails, not once but twice that year. Several top DNC officials resigned after hacked emails revealed potential election fraud. FEC complaints were filed against candidates for illegally coordinating with highly funded super PACs. Donald Trump faced sexual misconduct allegations as well as 2 class action lawsuits against now-defunct Trump University. Many people today are wondering where all the good guys have gone. Thankfully, not everyone in Washington has sacrificed integrity in favor of securing their own interests and donations. Bernie Sanders has faced many challenges in his decades-long fight against economic, racial, and social injustice, making great strides influencing legislation, policy, and public opinion toward the betterment of global society. He is an example of how the democratic use of government power can help to create a more egalitarian and just world. Bernie Sanders is an independent senator representing Vermont. He was born in a lower middle-class family in Brooklyn, New York. His father was a Jewish immigrant from Poland, supporting his family as a paint salesman. In the light of his family's background, Bernie recognizes the plight of poor, working, and middle-class Americans. He was active in the civil rights movement at the University of Chicago, where he graduated with a political science degree in 1964. He lost 2 bids for political office in 1974 and 1976, with less than 6% of the vote. In 1981, he ran for mayor of Burlington, Vermont, as a socialist and won. He kept this position for 3 terms until 1990, when he began his congressional career. He faced significant challenges as a presidential candidate seeking the Democratic Party nomination, since as an independent he nonetheless remains unaffiliated with any political party. He identifies as a democratic socialist because he believes government should have a critical role to play in guaranteeing the equitable distribution of resources. As self-proclaimed outsider in the White House, he is not beholden to partisan politics or to corporate money, nor is he interested in reading the polls for the right things to do or say in order to get elected. Bernie leads a passionate and principled political life, foregoing a major source of financing that could also lead him astray. He refused to take campaign contributions from corporations or super PACs, relying instead on the donations of individuals. His largest donations come from organizations representing working people and the middle class. Bernie believes that moneyed interests have too much influence in politics, and that political campaigns should be publicly funded. Corruption monitors from Transparency International say that large contributions undercut the integrity of elections worldwide. Much of his work in Congress supports early childhood education, increased teacher salaries, smaller class sizes, and reduced student college costs and debt. He received an 83% rating by the National Education Association, indicating pro-education votes on public education issues. Similarly, he is rated 86% by the American Federation of Teachers on his policy position. He believes that education, including college education, is a right that should be provided free of charge. If we want to remain competitive in the global economy, we need the best educated workforce in the world, but this cannot be accomplished by discouraging students with high tuition or burdening them with mountains of debt. I think that Bernie's best quality is his steadfast belief that government can and should be a force for good in the lives of its citizens. The biggest thing that someone could learn from Bernie's leadership profile is you should always keep in mind the people whom you serve. If you make it about the people, then you can lead with integrity. As an educator, this means that I always need to consider the best interests of the bright young students at Northeastern in their path to the future.
Created using Powtoon.